Jane Turner,
Here.
Laura LaRue,
Here.
Teresa Mosman,
Here.
Jackie Burke,
Here.
Lynn Lukes,
Here.
Sharon Barkema,
Here.
Don Sander.
Here.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Teresa, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes, financial statements, and list of bills. Is there a motion?
I actually move that we amend the minutes from the May 18th meeting. The discussion regarding the wrestling refers to a video that's not available. So I think we need to actually say that Dr. Davidson spoke to the school board on behalf of Clarion Oldfield regarding merging the wrestling program.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second
I move
that.
that we amend the minutes.
Okay.
Just that said, you guys want to go ahead and approve the other two that are on there? There's-
Yes, my motion is just to
Okay.
amend the minutes from the May 18th.
Teresa. Okay, it's been a motion to approve the minutes with the.
We need to vote on
Yeah.
Yes. That's Robert's rules, yeah.
Okay, first let's do the amendment of the minutes. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Okay, motion passes. We have amended minutes. Now we'll go back to approving the minutes, financial statements, and list of bills.
I move we approve those as amended. I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes, financial statement, list of bills, please say yes.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. All right, welcome everybody. We had a few requests for people to speak, so we'll get that in a minute. Okay. Okay, so we can keep this meeting moving. I'm going to limit you guys to probably 4 minutes. So we'll start with Denise Hackhoff.
I just wanted to talk about the merger with Clarion. I think it's a very premature move if we go to do that. We have several people that just got out of junior high coming into freshmen that are ready, willing, and able to wrestle. We have kids that are younger than that coming up. They might not be in like 6th grade right now, but they're coming up because we did have a strong youth program. Fact is, I wanted to state that Dan Gabrielson had said that he had no negative feedback from Clarion, and I want to make it known that most of the parents were unaware of it over in Clarion, so that is why there's no negative feedback over there. Let's see. I just think it's a really bad idea to merge there. If it was the other way around, they'd be just as angry. So, I guess that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Denise. With this open like this, you know, the board is not able to respond to you.
That's fine.
Second person is Todd Hopshide.
Hi. Kind of same line with Denise. I've got 2 boys now who currently wrestle in the BK youth program. If I wasn't so old-fashioned, I'd have a daughter that would be out there kicking the boys' butts. But on that note, I go down there, I take my kids down there, help them change their shoes for the BK youth, and there's got to be 25 to 30 kids in there, little kids running around. I want my kids, I'm from Britt originally, we've got a very strong wrestling background. I've been here 15 years now, I'm a BK supporter through and through, so are my kids. I hate that it hurt me a lot to see them go somewhere else. Especially now, that our program has become so successful. 2 years ago, we won sectionals. We had 5 kids go to state. We kicked West Hancock's club. I mean, yes, that's the kind of stuff. I finally see some more spirit this time. That's something that I saw lacking when I first came to Belmont. People didn't get fired up about their sporting programs. I see that happening now. My kids get fired up about wrestling now because they've seen some other kids have success. I know from experience, these kids that they start out with in preschool and wrestle with, and they're going to be friends with those Clarion kids, those Dallas kids, whatever, for the rest of their lives and build such great bonds, those wrestlers. So I ask, all I hear is on Facebook, I don't know why we're even considering it. I guess that's why I came tonight, is to get some more information. I guess that's all I got to say. Don't take it away from my kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Scott Hickman.
We'll make them up there.
Sure, it'd be easier for us to hear.
I asked to speak about the bid that I put in for the
You're
Osborne painting.
on the agenda later.
Yeah, so you don't have to speak right now.
Oh,
Okay.
want me to, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott, we had to have it on the agenda in order to change it.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Sorry.
Wyatt Heidemann.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Hagerman. I'm a Life Scout from Troop 1016, and I was going to present my Eagle Scout project. It's a memorial bench for Sergeant Tony Dominio. It will be put between the bike racks in the front office. My goals are to get the proposal approved and start working the 25th of June and finish the 21st of August. Overall, the materials for the wood is going to cost about $351. But then you also have like garbage bags and safety goggles, so that's going to add on. I'm also asking that the school be the main sponsor for this, for like donating stuff. And all extra materials, wood and money will be donated back to the school. I'm also thinking about having the Cub Scouts help build this with us and the Boy Scouts to promote finishing your journey. On the bench, there will be a plaque for Tony about his service and honoring him. I do have the bench plans, which are free, and I was hoping to use the woodworking room. Also, on the back 2 pages of navigating the Eagle Scout project is information for the project beneficiaries, which is the school. Sorry for like the weird symbols. The computer wasn't printing it correctly. So, yeah. Thank you for your time.
Will you be supervising the woodworking room? I'm just,
Yes, we will have our scout leader,
okay,
and other adults,
okay.
at least 2 at a time.
This is going by the high school entrance?
Yeah.
The main
between
office.
The bike racks and the main office.
Have you spoken with the Millennial family?
I have, and they like the project.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else?
So what I hear him asking is that he's asking for the school to fund the supplies.
Yes.
So we need to,
We don't necessarily, we don't need a motion or anything, it's way under anything that I could approve.
okay.
But it would go through
Senior.
Mr. Fisher.
Okay, all right.
Like activity or Yeah. fund.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
We'll
Well,
find
it's not
one.
in the hole already.
It won't be an activity, but we'll find one.
So Greg, the only thing I would be concerned about is the supervision in the shop.
Again, I think with adult supervision, I think he's okay. I think we probably need to talk to the adults and kind of give them a tour of the shop and understanding of what is expected when they're in the shop, to be safe with the tools.
And make sure that the Cub Scouts, the younger ones, their parents
Oh, they're
know
not gonna
what's.
touch it, that's gonna be, the power tools are gonna be Wyatt and the
Oh, okay, just
not the
making sure.
young kids, no. Yeah.
No, this is wood. Are you gonna stain it or
Yes.
varnish or what?
We're gonna put some primer on the outside so it doesn't rot.
And somebody will keep it up if it does?
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks,
Wyatt.
Greg, do you want to? I think, it sounds like a good project.
Again, I think it has been in line what we've kind of done with it, the recognition of Officer Dominio. I think we'll do a nice job of again giving us more permanent recognition other than the scholarship money that we've kind of established a little bit. Again, I think Wyatt will do a nice job. He's a very responsible young man. We just have to take the time and meet those people, make sure I do the shop safety with them, and that's it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to do two pieces of recognition at this time. One is so that we can formally recognize Darla Goldman, who retired this year after many, many years of service to the BK district. I believe a plaque was presented to her at the end of the school year, but I just wanted to get it in the minutes that we note and appreciate her long service to the school district. And the second piece is that on behalf of the school board and the business office staff, Sarah, we have a gift for you. Thank you for your service to the BK district, for taking on extra duties this spring. We thought it would be something that you could maybe use and enjoy.
I'll talk later. Greg, why don't you do yours first?
Greg, I would like to give us a report.
Okay, well, again, we're in that summertime mode. Finished up our CTE report today, I believe. Hopefully it went through, so I've got that component done. Starting to look at one-to-one stuff, trying to get that aligned. Trish and I have recognized the fact that we're taking our labs from the library here and also our portable labs and going to clean them up and send them over to the elementary, and we thought maybe we'd wait on the rollout. Well, we've discovered that we need some computers for our kids, so we're going to have to roll those computers out a little bit quicker, but we're going to make sure the teachers understand that our expectation is we'll build the base of pedagogy to support good teaching, and then have the expectations throughout the year as we move along. So we are going to have to try and get our rollout pretty quickly with our kids, and that's why you're seeing the one-to-one student handbook and the board policy, the first reading that way, so we can get that put in place a little bit. But we're anxious to get those taken care of tonight, start that process and get that going. But we also have to sit down and next week we'll set up a schedule with County Half Pop and Sarah Locke and Trish and I will Christine and Callie to make sure that we get things in place to support good teaching and pedagogy, because just to give the computers to kids and not put good teaching practices with us will do nothing for us. So we've got to get those in place, so we'll start working on that and making sure we get those embedded. We've looked at the superintendent candidates, and I know the one we're going to offer the position to has some good background in technology. We had a good discussion that Thursday night about technology and some good ideas with that, so I would look forward to talking with him a little bit when he comes on board here in July and seeing what we can do to help make sure I'm covering my bases, and we're covering our bases down at the elementary for Mr. Young as he comes on board. So looking forward to that and trying to get things in place for the next year then. You'll see some honors English next year. Trying to ratchet up a little bit for our ICTs. I am also meeting with Odyssey where I met with Odyssey. I talked with Mr. Kelly, and I know our candidate for superintendent also had a good conversation about computer-based alternative school components. And so we're looking at that a little bit as well. It's got so many more offerings than what we have present right now for those students that are out on the traditional track. So I think it'll be good for us to take a look at that. So, still fighting the space issue, trying to be creative there. We'll see how it goes. Looks like we'll have some double rooms and stuff, but we'll make it work. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Drake. Sarah?
Okay, we're currently in the middle of our first session of summer school. We have about 75 kids attending this session, a few more for next session. We actually had some extra categorical money and put on one extra person this year. Last year we were running about 15 to 17 in those classes, and to really give them some intensive support, we dropped that down to around 10. And so that's been helpful so far this year. They do mostly reading, but then we supplement the math depending on what the students need. We have time in the lab with the Imagine Learning. We feed them lunch and then send them home. So they enjoy, they come skipping in, and it's a good group of kids that want to be there. As you can see in the hallway, summer work is going on. Everybody's working all the time, and there's furniture moving all the time, and it smells like pine sol all the time here. Even the lockers smell nice now. So they're doing a nice job of keeping everything clean and keeping on schedule. Want to give a shout out to some people that don't necessarily ever hear the shout outs, and that's our department heads. Working at the elementary as a principal and then stepping into doing both the elementary principal and the superintendent, I cannot say enough about our department heads and how flexible they are. You know, Kim in the nutrition department, it's like, I forgot to tell you I need 30 sack lunches, and she's like, okay. And you know, within 10 minutes she's got 30 sack lunches going on a field trip. She doesn't bat an eye, she doesn't get upset about it, she does what she needs to do for kids. Corey is always, like when we had some safety issues and we wanted to move the outside key and lock, I'm like, Corey, we need this as a priority. And I think it was the next day that he had somebody there changing that lock on that door. And always willing to, I think I got the door off his office for a while until the new one came in. He literally gave me the door off his office. And John, when it was raining, when we came over for graduation and the kids were coming over to my building, and they didn't want their robes, called John, said, can I have buses to take them back so they don't get their robes ruined? Absolutely. I mean, he had all of 5 minutes warning. Absolutely. And then we're going out the door, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot the bus for our handicapped student. And I walk outside and John's got it down. He goes, the lift's out, it's out here, the lift's already down. He had thought of that. But they are so easy to work with, and they are so accommodating for kids, and I really appreciate all that they do. They're not, department heads aren't always that easy, but these guys are. I'm also working on double transition, trying to get the principal stuff ready for the new principal, trying to get the reports and things done from the superintendent's perspective, to try and get that ready to go. And I have not much time left to do it. But today went well. I think I'm going to make it. So that's what's going on in my world.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Employment. Superintendent. Sarah, I'd like to have you give us that information.
Okay, we negotiated back and forth on this, and this is one of those things that typically a search team does, and you don't see the very nitty-gritty. I think you now know the nitty-gritty of trying to hire a superintendent and going through those negotiations. We ended up throwing out an offer. You guys gave me very, very timely responses. We just averaged them and threw an offer out to Dr. Dan Frazier. He has accepted that offer, and with a couple questions that he wanted me to ask. And they weren't big sticklers. One was, in his contract he has 20 days of vacation plus 3 personal days. said, can we just throw the personal days in on vacation? That doesn't make any sense to keep them separate, they're the same thing. So that brings them up to 23. He requested 30. So that's kind of up to you. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but it's up to you. The other thing is that start date, which we've been talking about. July 1st is probably too soon for him to start. He mentioned the 17th of July. And I would like to see him start that Thursday before, which is the board meeting. And maybe make that compromise with him. So I guess I would recommend, and we need it in all the numbers, right? Want all the numbers? Yes. At a salary of $138,000 per year. It is a 3-year contract, up to $5,000 moving expenses. And then whatever your decision is on the start, what he's saying is it's really late to get his house listed and move down here. So he would like that, if not in the contract, in the minutes that, you know, he can do some things electronically, but he would not actually physically be here till X date, as he's looking for houses and moving. And we could do that one that way, not in the contract. And then the last one would be those vacation days, whatever you decide on that.
So you're saying July 16th is our next meeting?
No,
It's like the 13th.
yeah.
The 17th is a Monday, and it's that Thursday before.
So maybe there are
Well, she can send it to him that way.
there's 4 Thursdays in July. So, and then maybe the 20th.
Yeah, wouldn't our meeting be the 20th or the third Thursday?
Yeah, we can always get as much as we can.
When our board meeting is 20th, Sarah?
The 13th is the second Thursday.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
The 3rd is the 20th. That would work
I'm
out.
looking on this.
So he could start at 17, and then you have 4 days here.
Before the board meeting.
He just wanted, the contract says July 1st, and he just didn't want to be docked because it's so late.
July 20th. Are you looking for a motion?
Let's discuss that vacation. If you guys get comfortable doing that. I'd like to come the first year, because you guys want to amend the second year. I think you can do that.
But
To be
I
honest-
think we need to have a motion, and then we can discuss.
Okay, is there a motion to hire Danny Frazier as the superintendent?
I move we hire Dr. Dan Frazier as the superintendent with a 3-year contract, $138,000, starting July 17th, and paying up to $5,000 moving expenses, and rolling his 3 personal days into his vacation, so he has a total of 23 vacation days.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Is everybody okay with that?
Was he suggesting more when you talked about 30 days?
He asked 30,
He asked.
and we did 23.
Oh,
And I just make the motion
Yeah,
just to get
right.
it out there.
right.
Yeah.
He is with a 3-year contract. Can you change that after 1 year?
It says in the contract, salary to be negotiated. It does not say vacation. That line could be added.
I'm okay with moving the personal days over to vacation. Not totally excited about 30 days, but
I think like number one.
it's,
23 seems like a weird number, you know?
You know the norm.
Well,
others?
you upped grades after a year. You upped mine after a year.
So we have past practice to go and if we wanted to talk to them about it another year.
Maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
I think we should, we can move the personal days over, but I would like to wait on the other. Just my personal opinion.
Okay, if everybody's okay with this, let's vote on the motion that Jackie made. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, Jody Turner, head junior high softball coach.
These, Jody and Kira don't actually, you voted it in last time, but it was with the understanding that Greg put them where they want. So they're voted in, but that's where Greg put them.
And we're gonna, and because of a condition that we have now we're faced with, we're probably gonna have to look at realigning those. I'd like to make Jody the middle school softball coach, and Kira a volunteer at that level, and then make Kira the assistant softball coach, and give Brittany an interim head coaching position. That's where they're at right now, because we have another issue with our head coaching situations.
So what I have on my agenda, we're going to move Kira as a volunteer for junior high. and-
I mean, she's been doing the job.
Yes, that she would be the assistant for.
I don't know how, again, I don't know if you pay them for that junior high position that she's doing.
I guess we have already approved them, I guess you were.
So I guess you pay her for junior high and then also she's doing high school. So, because she's doing them. So,
If she's doing both jobs, she should be paid for both
yeah,
jobs.
yeah. Again,
So she won't be a volunteer at the high school level, she'll be.
no,
the
yeah,
assistant.
she'll be the assistant coach at high school. Yes. Have to be paid.
Can I get a new one of these? for
I
you?
can,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you're talking Jody Turner, or middle school, or junior high?
Junior high.
It's the same thing, junior high,
Junior high
and
coach.
Kira, junior high coach.
And her also as
Yeah.
junior high coach?
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
she's gonna be the assistant
High school,
for high school.
and then.
Brittany is going to move into head coach?
Yeah, interim head coach. Right now.
What was that?
Are you making a motion?
I was asking so I can make sure that I have it all. And I will make the motion that Jody Turner is the head junior high softball coach. Step 12 at 4.5%. Is that still gonna stay? Okay. And Kara Cook is, it says the assistant junior high.
That's fine.
Okay, assistant junior high softball coach, step 1 at 4.5%. And also Kara Cook as the assistant high school softball
It
coach.
should still be step one, I'm not sure what that percentage is, I think it's 6%, I don't know off the top of my head.
I have to go look.
Yeah, I would too. Because, and then you'd have to,
Hired at the Schedule C.
correct,
Kara.
it uses, yeah. And then Brittany will have to go to the interim head coach as well.
So all we really have to approve is paying Kira and moving Brittany to intern.
Correct.
We've approved it, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Would you like to move that or want me to move it?
I'll move that we do Brittany to move her to the high school interim for softball, and then Kira as the assistant.
Okay.
Wait. Because Brittany's not on the agenda.
So on the recommendation. that I
But
got
we
from
can, we
Greg.
have that ability to hire prior to your recommendation in an emergency situation.
Oh, okay.
Haven't we already hired her?
Yeah, she's hired, we just have to bump her.
Okay, well then, just Kira.
So do we move to pay her instead of volunteer? Then she's doing it.
should be assistant.
Yeah,
Assistant high school.
But it doesn't say that.
It says volunteer, we don't need her to volunteer if she's doing it, it needs to be paid.
Yeah, this was decided after this, so that's why it's on the agenda.
We need to make a motion to pay here.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should.
Okay.
And I second.
Okay.
We'll take two.
So the motion.
What did we?
To pay Kira to become the assistant high school softball coach.
Now that I cleared the mud out of the way,
Thanks.
Okay, Teresa made the motion, Laura, you second. Just got a motion, a second to approve Kira Cook as assistant for junior high and high school softball according to paid at the Schedule C. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
I abstain.
Okay, motion passes. Board policy for technology, first reading.
Adding the one-to-one, we need to update our board policy to include that. I would recommend the updated board policy for technology. First reading.
This is just a generalized form that we've got to do as
Is this actually one that we borrowed? Yeah. No one reinvents the wheel anymore, so we went and studied all the ones that had policies in one-to-one and used the ones that we fit us.
So you can look that over and possibly at the next meeting you can approve it. Student handbook. Sarah recommends that we approve the student handbook. Any information on that, Sarah?
Greg and Trish, you were the ones that put that together.
again, we didn't create anything. We've modified others to create a format that'll meet our needs.
I just have one question.
Okay?
Could there be a spot somewhere where the parent has to sign something? So, these are expensive things that are going out, and it'd be nice to have something in writing that the parent understands what's in the handbook and all the rules, and yes.
Part of our rollout procedure that we'll be developing, fine-tuning next week, will include that commitment by the parent, because the student will not get a computer unless the parent and the student both sign it. I mean, they'll get it to use during the day, but they won't be able to take it home.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the student handbook. I'll second.
Sharon and Jim. Is there any more discussion?
Just a lot of changes from the last one.
Well, just because it's a one-to-one.
Right.
Yeah,
the
but the one-to-one.
Yeah.
Other than that.
I mean, with the lines
We're
to
not there
what
yet, Jane.
past practice
Oh,
would
is he?
be.
I thought he was
We're
talking
just
about
on
those.
the one-to-ones.
Oh, yeah, we're on the
Oh,
one-to-one student
excuse me.
handbook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
we're not in my.
Yes, on the handwritten
Yeah, no,
handbook.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah, I
just
read
the
about
first
it.
reading.
No.
No, the policy was the handbook can be adapted.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
Or
all
adopted,
right.
excuse me.
Right.
Well, it can be adapted too, but
Right.
adopted.
So we're discussing that. Who made that motion?
I did.
Sharon and Jim.
Second it.
There's a lot in it.
Yeah, it's very thorough.
You want to change the motion to be able to table it for now, and it's actually next week, so you have a better chance of reviewing it.
No, I read it. I'm just wondering if, I would kind of like to have that sign out sheet added.
We can make an amendment next week to that to have it happen,
Okay,
you know, on the board. We'll just add it to the agenda next month and make sure it happens.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second, we need to take a vote.
There's no discussion. All those in favor of approving the one-to-one student handbook, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no.
No.
Okay. Motion passes. Junior, senior high student handbook. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll move to approve the handbook.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion?
Now I can ask.
Okay, well, there's a couple things. We have a power lunch that's coming in for 22 minutes a day. Kids will be in a homeroom setting where they can check out. They actually, on our system, the teachers can ask for them to come to their classroom so they can remediate some of their issues. They might have missed a quiz, might have missed a test, might need to study for a test or quiz. So they can ask for the kids to come in, and the kids will have that ability to do that. And also, if they don't have an assignment done, kind of gives us some leverage to take care of that business, so we're not worried about that as much when it goes home. Because anymore, a lot of times the kids that for an average student aren't taking their homework home and doing it. You know, they're doing it right before school, or they're trying to rush to get it right at the classroom, or whatever. They're not taking it seriously. So it gives us an opportunity to take care of business that way. It also gives us some time to actually remediate some skills. It also gives us some time that we're going to do some character development with the kids on Mondays, and we're also going to do some goal setting and stuff like that as well. And on Fridays, we can have some of our class meetings that, or activity meetings and stuff that typically have been stealing some time away from our classes. So we're doing those on Friday. So Mondays is the character and the leadership. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is all about RTR, response to intervention, or MTSS. Again, it's going back to that intervention. And then the last one's the meetings. So that's in there. We've done a lot of principal designees. So we have some flexibility of what goes on there. Changed a couple things discipline-wise, but not much. So pretty much how it was last year, pretty similar.
So the power lunch, I'm not sure I understand that concept. So you're going to take them out of what, a lunch?
Well,
Or you just call it that?
Either they're going to have lunch, or they're going to be in a homeroom situation. So like, for example, and I'm going to pick on your daughter, if that's okay. Ryan probably is going to have Mr. Hildebrand this year, I'm assuming, for a math class. Very, very difficult. So she might be preparing for a quiz. So she's supposed to have lunch a period. Mr. Hildebrand is free that period, so they'll eat together. But she can check out of her homeroom situation and actually go meet with Mr. Hildebrand to go over the quiz, prepare for the quiz, that next 22 minutes. So one period she's eating, the next period she's in a homeroom situation. And she has the flexibility to switch that around so she can go to Mr. Hildebrand when he's open.
So they're not missing lunch?
No,
They get to eat.
Yeah, they get to eat.
They get to eat, but we have the teachers available to meet with kids and do interventions.
I see.
And we just don't have the facilities to have everybody off at the same time.
Same time.
You know, if we had a capacity of 300 kids in our cafeteria, then we could do everybody at one time, have all the teachers. It'd be chaos for me to monitor them, you know, during our lunch period. But we, you know, so we have to flip them a little bit and make them work. But
So that will be their decision whether they want to meet, or the
Well,
teachers
both.
can ask
It'll be
to.
both. They can ask the teachers, or the teachers can request them. Our system works that way.
That's for both junior and senior high,
It's all, well, yes.
7
It's-
through 12.
Yeah, 7, 12.
Okay, there's no more discussion. There's a motion by James, second by Laura, to approve the junior senior high student handbook. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Those opposed, no. Motion passes. We need to make a revision to the 2017-2018 calendar. Sarah, do you want to
That was
explain?
my fault. Check the homecoming week schedule before you put parent-teacher conferences in. We had the activities meeting after the calendar was approved, and it turned out homecoming week, we only had 3 days of school. and conferences at night. So we just moved, it's the same calendar, we just moved that first set of parent-teacher conferences back a week. So, and then the corresponding comp day is back a week.
Okay,
So
is
we
there a
have all
motion to
5
approve-
days for home care, which is important.
We have 5 days for home.
Is there a motion to approve these changes?
I'll second.
Okay. Laura, Sharon. Is there any more discussion?
It's happening, or you're not the first.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, there's been a motion to approve the changes to the 2017-2018 calendar. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes.
And I didn't catch it either, so.
Okay, we have 3 lane changes. Is everybody okay with putting these all in one motion? Okay, we have Dave Hildebrand, step 22, BA plus 15, to step 22, BA plus 30. Shannon Wadsley, step 13, BA, to step 13, BA plus 15, and Lori Ecoff, step 14, MA plus 30, to step 14, MA plus 40. Is there a motion to approve these?
I move we approve these lane changes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, there's been a motion to approve lane changes for David Hildebrand, Shannon Wadsley, and Lori Ecoff. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, EMC commercial insurance package renewal for the 17-18 school year. So you get any more information?
Yeah, actually, we've done really well, and our insurance premium for next year is actually going down almost $20,000, $19,284. And that includes the addition of adding the computers. Yeah. I would recommend that you renew that.
Is there a motion to approve this package?
I'll make the motion.
Teresa? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the EMC insurance package for the 2017-2018 year, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, memorandum of understanding to approve a proposal from the BK Community School District Administrative Team for new verbiage aligned with the musical and plays.
Basically, every other year you have a musical. In the contract, it says there's a certain time you're supposed to have it. Either in the fall, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Spring.
Okay, Jack, I knew you'd know.
Of course I would.
You know, and again, I'm just giving the flexibility to our director to determine, are they gonna have it in the spring, or are they gonna have it in the fall? I don't care, as long as they tell me before the school year starts, we get it designated, so if that happens during that one school year, every other year, we have that production, big production. It gives the conductor or director the opportunity to determine when it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen that year. That's all I'm trying to do, is give them some flexibility, allow them to control their program a little bit better.
Mr. Howell, are you okay with all this?
Yes. The biggest reason why we're wanting to do this, we typically have our small productions every fall, and we have our big productions in the spring, whether it be a big play or a big musical. This past year we had a big play. This upcoming year we have a big musical. Having the big production in the spring causes some issues with some students because we have a really active speech program, which is doing amazing things with Allstate, with Nicole Bach and Melissa Green front running that very well. We share a lot of the same kids. And their season happens the first 4 months from January through April, and that can't be changed because it's state regulated. So for us being able to have the big production in the fall, the 1 to 2 week period between when football season ends and before basketball season starts, that would be extremely ideal and would help with some scheduling conflicts as well. So that's the reason why we're wanting to have that flexibility.
It'll create worse for you, you know.
Yes, that also would
And
be.
there'll be
would
more
be-
kids being able to be involved if they choose to.
Exactly. We also have had the issue in the past where students, we have a lot of students when we have the spring productions are involved in track, are involved in trap shooting. A lot of those things that we want students to do, and sometimes they said we can't do the musical or we can't do the play because I have this commitment. As well as FFA happening, it's a very busy second semester as opposed to first semester, and we share a lot of students with that. We want to make sure we're not causing our students to have to choose, but we're able to give them a good balance and be able to do what they would like.
And there will always be conflicts, because you'll have kids in fall sports too,
Right.
and marching band.
Thank you for putting the kids first.
So you're thinking fall play and fall musical, and then one acts in the spring?
Correct, and it also,
Either year.
right, and the every other year would stay the same with the play musical, because doing a musical every year in a small school seems a little crazy.
Yeah.
Little nuts, but I like the fall play, fall musical every other year. And then our one acts are always directed by students, and having a production at the beginning of the school year where I direct, it allows those students who would be interested in directing to see it kind of firsthand, and then be able to do it themselves in the spring, as opposed to kind of being tossed in head first into the deep end without a lot of kind of guidance or seeing it on the spot type of deal, which I think would also help. Thank you.
I would like to move to approve the memorandum.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have Laura and Teresa. Is there any discussion? Not, there's been a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for the musicals and plays. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, the milk bid is from Anderson Areas. Kim, do you have a report for us?
I don't really have a report. I think I gave Josie a copy to give all of you. I got 2 bids back, one from Highland Dairy and one from Anderson Erickson. Anderson Erickson is we've been with since I've been here. They do a great job. They gave me the start out point of our product we get from them, and then it does differ month to month, and they send us a letter every month saying how much it's differed, and Josie sees that in the bill every month. The other bid that I received gave me a list of products, but no starting price. So obviously I went with what we know we start with, and they've always done a great job. If I have problems, I call right away. So I would recommend that we go with Anderson Erickson again this year.
Is there a motion to approve this bid?
I move to accept the bid from Anderson Erickson for the milk.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second. Okay, it's been a motion to approve the milk bid from Anderson Erickson. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay. Now we have the bus barn painting bid. Scott, you want to come forward?
Come back.
Let us-
Come back.
Hear what you have to say.
What I want to talk to you about, I wasn't able to be here last month when you approved my bid. Okay, when I submitted my bid, there was 2 parts to that bid. The labor and then the materials. The labor is a solid figure. That's the amount of money that would be cost to paint that bus barn. That figure would not change. Now the materials, on the other hand, that's a big building, you know, and I'm talking the paint. And I've walked around that building a lot. I've measured and I've talked to some people that I know from Diamond Vogel. And that's how we came up with that 60-gallon figure. That's just a guess. It could be less. I really don't know until I get into a project that size. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is gonna be the biggest one I've ever done. But it's not impossible. So what I'm asking the board to consider is I would like to rescind that part of my bid and kind of leave that open to where I have a little bit of flexibility with that. I know that sounds a little weird.
So if you use 45 gallons, you
You
charge
will
us
get
for
billed
45 gallons.
If I
you
use
60
30 gallons, I'll use billed for 30 gallons. You will get billed the amount that I use. I just can't guess how much I'm gonna use. Now, if I was doing your house or your living room, I could do that within a gallon or two, and that would only amount to $50 or $60 or $70, a couple of gallons of paint. Well, what we're talking here, if I'm off 15 gallons, a 5-gallon bucket of the product that I'm using is $207. So if I'm off 15 gallons, that's $600 and some dollars. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to me. It's just very hard to determine how much I'm going to use. Now, if the board is not comfortable with that, then I have no problem backing away from that project, because I would love to do the project, but I can't say for definite I'm going to use 60 gallons of paint. It might be 70, it might be 30. I can't tell until I get into a project.
Would you be opposed to just giving us a bid for the labor and then having the school buy the paint?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Did we have a bid from other people? No, so we have John here, he was the one that handled it, to know where.
We had one bid, it was mine.
That was you were the only one.
If the school purchased the paint, then we could actually purchase it under our EIN, and you would have to pay
As long as I can
tax.
use the product that I want.
I would like to agree with his proposal, but I would like to cap it, set a number in case it's something crazy.
I can't cap that.
You can't cap it,
Nope.
set like a wild number, not at all.
Wild number, 100 gallons, you know,
You think it might be 60, we can't cap it at 85.
all the measurements of everybody that I've talked to says this is what I would do. Now, am I gonna be right? I can't tell you. I can't say for definite I'm gonna use 60 gallons of paint. I can't say for definite I'm gonna use 75. This is a big project. It's a big project.
I
So,
would wonder, I would like to buy the paint locally.
That's what I was
well,
saying.
then I'm backing away from the job.
We talked to John about this. Like
Because here's the thing. The product that I'm using is specifically made for metal buildings. True Value doesn't have this product. They have a similar product. I've never used it. I've used this product. And I've used it in houses in town that I painted with metal siding. I did a machine shed over in Humboldt last year with it, and it was amazing. No problem, no peeling, no nothing. And so, if that's what the board wants, then that's your decision. I'm not gonna sit here and try to argue. But I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as I can use the product that I want.
Scott, when you made the bid, did you have a labor and material bid?
Yes. There was two separate, my labor and then the materials. And the materials was 60 gallons. 60 gallons times $207 per 5-gallon bucket. It amounted to like $2,500.
What is your labor bid?
So $3,274. And I broke that down into $3,000 labor and $274 would it cost to insure. I would have to have an insurance policy. That's how I broke that down.
And I respect your opinion on the paint, but I still just wonder if we shouldn't buy locally, just because.
And that's your choice.
But if it's
And we don't have anybody to do it, Jane, if we buy local.
But if it's also a product that
I'm not saying.
we don't have 100% that it's gonna stay as long as the product that he has gone with and it's performed for years and we'll have to do it within 5 years again. It's kind of a,
They might tell you it wouldn't do well. I don't know. I don't know anything about that kind of paint, so I don't know.
And that's totally up to you, James. I'm not gonna stand here, if you wanna buy it down to true value, then I would respectfully back away from that
Yeah,
part.
I understand.
Scott, how would you prepare, like the doors, I know are rusty, how would you prepare that before you paint it?
That's a good question. I have a primer that I would, first of all, I would come in with a power washer and kind of clean it off. And then there's a primer that you put on there. It's not a fix, it's a Band-Aid. Sooner or later, something's gonna have to be done with them doors. But I've had really some good success with the methods that I've used. It's a primer specifically to cover up rust. And that's an oil-based primer that I would have to put on by hand. I just don't like to use a sprayer with latex and then oil spray. I just don't like it. That's just me.
The rest of the building doesn't show as us, it's just the paint's.
The rest of the building is in good shape, it's just that it's faded. And there's a couple spots in the back that has brown panels instead of white. It's just a couple, and it's on the back.
So,
It's whatever you guys want.
if I'm understanding you, it's like your reputation as a painter, you want to use the product that you feel comfortable using that would do a good job, right?
And
And there's no chance that we can order it through Hancock County Co-op Oil or True
Hancock
Value
County
or
Co-op Oil doesn't do
anybody
paint
local.
anymore.
Oh, they don't do paint?
No.
No, okay,
That's why I asked.
That's why I gotta go to Mason to get it.
got it. Okay.
Again, True Value does have a metal paint. I've never used it, so.
Okay.
And you haven't heard any reviews from anybody that has or anything? No.
Nah, I haven't.
I would prefer to use the paint that's comfortable.
Good, good.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Still kind of, I just wanted to be like not to exceed blank. I would just feel really comfortable with not to exceed blank. It's
Well,
a number that
he's-
you're not going to exceed. And other than that, I agree with what you're proposing.
he's got the bid here for the paint at
60 gallons.
60 gallons for 2,483.40. So if you put a cap on it at
Would you be okay with not to
3,500
exceed?
or 4,000,
Something that you, and you can come back, what about if we put in there, you can come back to us if you need more?
That's totally up to you guys.
No, it's not. I want you to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do the job.
Yeah, you can't just stop if we run out of paint.
exactly.
See, I wish I could say, yeah, definitely I'm gonna use 60 gallons of paint, but I can't. What would be fun if I come back to you next month and the project's done and I say, hey, I only used 30. How's everybody gonna feel that?
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. You're gonna, the bid would be way under, and that's the amount of money that you would get billed. I'm not gonna bill you for something I don't use.
Agreeing with you. I just wanted to put a cap on there just to cover our bases.
Well,
But
I,
otherwise,
Is a 4,000 cap not high enough? Because that would add almost another,
to be honest with you, again, I can't say definitely I'm gonna use this. I'm asking the board to kind of leave that open.
I guess if you're willing to stay at your labor rate, that's what,
That figure would not change.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you too, that's not all the money I'm gonna make. I got some hidden costs out of there that I'm gonna have to rent. And basically, that project should have been done several years ago.
I know.
I'm an alumni. I'm not gonna get rich off this project. I just wanna see it done.
I got a question for you, Scott. It's gonna be navy blue and green, Kelly green?
No, it's gonna be
With
white.
white horses in the middle of the garage door?
All white, sir.
There you go, Greg.
What kind of timeline you looking at if you?
There again, if I get approved and you guys get me approved, I would love to have it done before school starts, but it all depends on weather. I'm not gonna go out there in a 30, 40 mile an hour wind.
no, can't.
degrees out, you don't want to.
And I don't wanna paint when it's 100 degrees out. So, there again, I wish I could give you a definite answer. I would love to have it done before school starts.
My recommendation would be, just to keep it moving, to keep the labor cost as is and school reimbursed for the amount of paint used.
I have no problem with that.
I'd still prefer just to have the school buy the paint. Saves on the
Same
sales
difference.
tax.
And I don't have a problem buying that. I don't have
Oh,
a
it would
problem
save on the
buying
tax. Yeah, it would.
Then that way Corey and John are authorizing the purchase of whatever paint he needs.
it. And that's fine.
And that's not that I don't, I just think that we need to run it through so that we can get the tax
I don't have
rate.
a problem with that.
Taxes on $2,400.
That's
I
fine.
should be paying the taxes.
How was the bid advertising the paper, do you remember?
I'm not word for word, I was just painting up bus barn. I'm not sure exactly.
I make a motion that we go ahead and have Scott paint the bus barn with the labor cost of the $32.74 and the school pay for all the paint that he needs.
Yeah, actually his bid was $3,300 for the labor.
Oh, $3,300, excuse me. He said,
Whatever it says, or I'm sorry if I misquote.
I'd pay you $32.74 if you, or $22, $27,
And that's
whatever,
fine,
but
too.
you did
That's
approve
fine, too.
$3,300, so.
$3,300 for the labor and the school goes ahead and pays for the paint. So they can
That's
have the
great.
taxes.
I have no problem with
Just make sure you
Okay,
tell
thanks.
Corey. the
I'll
paint
second that.
before you come.
Yeah.
The paint that you choose to use.
that. Okay. Good?
Yep, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, there's a motion by Teresa and a second by Jackie to accept the bid of labor for Scott and the school will purchase the paint. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay, the second reading of board policy updates. Anybody have the opportunity to review these?
Okay, I found the typo. It's on 708. It's the very last sentence of 708. It says, these time limits have been italicized, so districts are aware of which time limits are not mandated by federal or state law. Away should be aware.
Okay. There's lots of spots where you guys have to insert little things. Talk about that.
I'm sorry.
There's lots of spots where you guys have to insert certain information.
I'm not seeing anything.
705.1. On the bottom, the amounts that can be considered. Purchasing for goods and services shown.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go by the same amounts that are in the old one. It's not even that. I remember doing this last year. The old one says the last time it was revised was in 2013.
I'm not sure we revised it formally, we just. Changed that. We were worried about stuff just being purchased without our.
Yes.
We didn't make. I don't remember what that amount was, it seemed like it was.
And there was already set amounts in the old policy.
Which
you guys
were-
want to keep it.
What were they?
So
10,000.
as far as numbers, we can keep that the same, and I'll bring them back at the next board meeting so you guys can look at them. We're the same. Okay.
a note for Mr. Frazier to have, because the Iowa code changed on those numbers. And so, I mean, you can go with the lower numbers, but there are a lot higher numbers nowadays than there were back here. I'll just make a note for him to take a look at that.
On 708, do you need to insert a location?
Yeah, and that's
What location?
Yeah.
What location do you currently have?
8 right now.
I can't even find it.
It says fireproof vault. Is that what you're gonna do?
The vault in front.
The vault, yeah, the front vault.
Yep, fireproof vault.
Those learning to the head.
That's all I see. The other ones didn't have much other than take an A out or add an A or an and. Yeah, there's not other ones that have additions like that. We can bring it back next time.
We'll take those changes and we'll bring it back to the next meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move. I'll second that.
Who said?
So our next meeting is the 20th.
Yes.
All those in favor of adjourn, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everybody.